Yes, hi class. Good evening, all of you. Class, good evening. How are you all? Welcome to the fresh class in the Target Gate 21 batch. We're having the classes of control systems. So we'll proceed with that. Just give me a second. Yes. All right. So how are you all? Are you enjoying your studies? Are you, comfortable with your studies? Right? Yes. No major change in software. Yeah, I am yet to receive a device from the office. They'll be sending me as a courier. So once I receive that, then we'll have our final configuration done. But yeah, till that time we have got a sort of arrangement so that we are not having any disturbance in the class. Like yesterday, also we had a small disturbance in the class. So hopefully we'll continue the session peacefully today. Yes, Abhiram, open poles means the poles of open loop transfer function. Poles of the open loop transfer function, and right half, right half matlab right of the j omega axis, right? Okay, guys, so let us start the today's class. As you know, we are entering into the frequency domain analysis from today's class. Okay, that is okay. Today's class is about basics, but we are going to extend this concept towards Nyquist and Bode, which are known as the frequency domain plots. And as I've told you in the beginning, Nyquist and Bode are pretty much important topics. Nyquist and Bode are pretty much important topic. All right. Chaliye, so let us get started with the class. This is the brief introduction. You already know this is Rakesh Talreja, and I've secured All India rank 9th in the GATE examination, completed my master's from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Okay, so let's start with the frequency domain analysis, right? Just a moment. Let us start with the frequency domain analysis. Yes. So this is something I've already taken in the introduction class when we started with the control system. Ki suppose you are given an LTI system having impulse response GT, given an LTI system having impulse response GT, and okay, here it is just shifted left. If I apply the input RT and I get the output CT, so what is the method to get the output CT? It is obtained as input RT convolution with the impulse response GT. Okay. Convolution with the impulse response GT, and then converting it into the Laplace domain, taking the Laplace transform, I write CS equal to RS into GS. That is what we have learned from the initial classes, that output of any block is equal to input into gain of the Blake block, and we call this as the gain CS upon RS. That is the transfer function or the gain. Already we have defined this, just repeating it for you. Okay, we have discussed about transfer functions in the beginning class. So transfer function is defined as the ratio of output Laplace transform to the input Laplace transform. Okay, and as already learned that this is nothing but this is coming from the Laplace transform of GT. This is coming from the Laplace transform of GT. So GS is also known as the Laplace transform of GT, matlab integral GT e power minus ST dt. Now, wherein s we know that s is a complex variable given by sigma plus j omega. S is a complex variable written as sigma plus j omega, and if I put sigma equal to 0, the real part, if I put sigma equal to 0, I get s is equal to j omega. I get s is equal to j omega, right? And if s is equal to j omega, guys, so this formula looks like what? Integral gt and put s equal to j omega, you get e power minus j omega t dt. Anyone able to recognize this formula? Yes, anyone able to recognize this formula? What is integral gt e power minus j omega t? What is this tool known as? What is this formula for? Yes, anyone can comment on that? Yes, Sachitra. Right, guys? Sachitra, Preetham, yes, now others are also commenting. Yes, guys, this is nothing but the Fourier transform formula. If you have any time learned Fourier transform, or else you will learn Fourier in signals and systems. Here we are not going to involve in the Fourier calculation. Okay, Fourier you will learn in very much detail once you study the subjects of signals and systems. Okay, so this is basically the Fourier transform of GT. So converting sigma equal to 0, the Laplace transform gets converted into Fourier transform. Okay, obviously ROC and all that has to be considered. So we are not talking in terms of signals right now. And that is what I am telling here. If sigma is equal to 0, we get S equal to J omega. And this formula is known as the Fourier transform of GT. And like the Laplace transform of GT is known as the transfer function or the transfer gain, the Fourier transform of GT is known as the frequency response or the frequency gain of the system. That means I define here, first we have defined transfer function and now I am defining the frequency response of a system. That is defined as the ratio of output Fourier transform to the input Fourier transform. Okay, so in the form of frequency gain, this is known as the frequency response, and in the form of S domain, Cs upon Rs, this is known as the transfer function. Okay, now, why I am picking this analysis? As I told, Fourier transform is not going to be dealt right now, just I am introducing Fourier transform. Why? Because till now, in control, what are the types of inputs that we have discussed? Since beginning, at some point or the other, we have discussed these inputs. Sometimes in transient analysis, sometimes in the error analysis, we have discussed about impulse, we have discussed about step, we have discussed about ramp input, we have discussed about parabolic also in the case of error. Right? But guys, can you tell me, is there any important input that has been missed? Very important and not common input that has been missed, whose analysis is not yet done. Yes, can you name? Try to recall what can be the common signals and what is not discussed. Impulse, step, ramp and parabolic is done till now. Yes, guys, correct. So your common sense is correct. Yes, Madhava, Surya and all others. Yes, sinusoidal. The sinusoidal signals. What about the sinusoidal inputs? Have we considered till now? No, we have not considered any sinusoidal input till now. And what is the response of a control system to sinusoidal input? For that, I need the frequency response. That is why I have taken this case. That is the sinusoidal input, right? Okay. Yeah, Satya, anyways, we are talking about continuous domain only. In this control system, we are not going to talk about any discrete domain. Everything is continuous domain. Okay. Yes. So, sinusoidal input of the form that is RT is equal to A sin omega naught t or A cos omega naught t. Sin or cos are both categorized as a sinusoidal signal having the amplitude A and the frequency equal to omega naught. What we have seen that sometimes we apply the finite input to the system and the response is oscillatory. We have seen undamped case. Remember what is undamped case in second order control system? The input was stepped, but the output was oscillatory. Right, in the undamped second order control system. But here, if the input itself is oscillatory, if the input is a sinusoidal input, how does the system behave? Okay, so let us consider input onto which input let us consider a system, LTI system, onto which input RT is applied. Okay, yeah, even plus constant phase shift also do not matter. Yes, Madhava. LTI system whose frequency response is Tj omega. I am defining the frequency response Tj omega. Okay, and the output is Ct. What is the steady state response of this system to the sinusoids? Input of the form A sin omega naught t. Yes, obviously, Nitesh, omega is omega naught. Omega naught is angular frequency only. What is the steady state response of the system to sinusoids input of the form A sin omega naught t? Right. A sin omega naught t. Now, to find out the response of this, what is the Ct? That is a question mark. I will give you the answer. Guys, because the derivation of this, ठीक है, the derivation of this, how to get the output, the derivation of this depends on Fourier transform, and because this is not a signals course where we are going to go into details of Fourier transform, so you will learn this derivation once you go through the course of signals and systems. But what comes out to be the final output, that I am putting in front of you. RT is equal to A sine omega naught t, and let the frequency response of the system, as I have mentioned here, is Tj omega. Okay, we can write down the frequency response of a system as mod of Tj omega e power j phi omega, matlab complex form, Euler form. Okay, then the response of the system is given by the formula. Then the response of the system to the sinusoidal input is given by the formula A mod of Tj omega naught sine of omega naught t plus phi j omega naught. Okay, we will take numerical examples to understand this. A mod of Tj omega naught into sine of omega naught t plus phi j omega naught, right? Plus phi j omega naught. Got it? That means the amplitude of the sinusoidal signal is multiplied by the magnitude of the frequency response, and the phase of the sinusoidal signal is added with the phase of the frequency response. Okay, to understand this application of this formula, let us use this. This is a result from signals I am using directly, and then we will move towards some of the concepts that we need to learn in the control systems regarding frequency domain. Okay, so let's take one question. It is a linked question asked in GATE 2008 for 2 + 2, 4 marks. The impulse response of a linear time invariant continuous time system is given by ht is equal to exponential minus 2t ut, where ut is the unit step signal, right? First of all, what is the frequency response of the system? So first I will tell you, what is given. The impulse response of the system is given by e raised to the power minus 2t ut. Can you write down its Laplace transform? Yes, you already know the Laplace formulas I have told already. Na? Laplace is 1 upon s plus a, 1 upon s plus 2. Now, S is equal to sigma plus j omega, and put down j omega if you substitute sigma, because what is the relation I told to go to Fourier transform? Put S is equal to j omega. So you get h of j omega, and that is known as the frequency response, and that is equal to 1 upon 2 plus s, and s is replaced by j omega. That is the answer to the question number 1. Okay. Once you study in signals, you will study the direct formula of Fourier also. What is the formula for e power minus at ut? Its Fourier is given by 1 upon a plus j omega. That you learn directly in the Fourier also. Okay. That you learn directly in the Fourier also. This signal has the Fourier transform 1 upon a plus j omega. E power minus at ut has the Fourier transform 1 upon a plus j omega. Okay, so my focus is not on Fourier transform. The first answer I have given you directly, 1 upon 2 plus j omega. Now, can you tell me the output for the second question? Can you tell me the answer for the second question, guys? Okay. Can you tell me the output for the second question? What is the output of the system to the sinusoidal input 2 cos 2t for all time t? 2 cos 2t for all time t. Okay. So, question number 2. Question number 2, xt, the input, xt is 2 cos 2t. That means what is the frequency of the input signal? Omega naught is 2. This is omega naught, na? This omega naught is 2. Okay. Now, what is the frequency response of the system? I am solving the second question for you. What is the frequency response? Just now we have calculated frequency response h of j omega as 1 upon 2 plus j omega. Okay, so what is the magnitude of this? What did I say? Write down the frequency response in the form of magnitude and phase. So what is the magnitude of this, guys? 1 upon, what is the magnitude of x plus jy? It is root over x square plus y square. Root over 1 upon x square plus y square, that is 1 upon 4 plus omega square. Okay, and what is the phase of this number? Okay, what is the phase of this number? Yeah, Jyotsana, continue. Nothing much lost. Okay, we are still discussing some basics. What is face of j omega? The face, what is the face of numerator? It is 0. Minus, what is the face of denominator? It is, by numerator face is 0 because it is positive. I told now what is the angle of positive real number? It is just 0 degree. Okay, and denominator ke liye subtract the face, and what is the face of denominator? Tan inverse y by x, tan inverse omega by 2, tan inverse omega by 2. Okay, right. Now, what is the magnitude and phase? What is the magnitude and phase? Look at this. What I need to do? My final output, my final output, my final output is equal to the amplitude of the sinusoid multiplied by mod tj omega naught. Sine omega naught t, phase is added with phi j omega naught. So let me calculate. Here the transfer function is not t, it is equal to h, no matter. So what is the value of mod h of j omega naught? That is equal to 1 upon root over 4 plus omega ki jagah you have to replace omega naught, and what is the value of omega naught? It is 2. 2 square, so that is 1 upon under root of 8, or that is 1 upon 2 root 2. Okay, and what is face of omega naught? What is phi j omega naught? So minus tan inverse omega will be replaced by omega naught. The value of omega naught is 2, and tan inverse 1 is 45 degree, minus pi by 4, yeah, minus 45 degree in the form of degree, right? Okay, so now what is the final answer? I will substitute this in the final answer. Okay, so what is my final answer? Okay, what was my input? 2 cos 2t. Okay, so what is my output? What is my output? Ct is given by 2 mod of the amplitude of the sine is multiplied by the magnitude of the frequency response, cos, and the phase 2t, it is added with phi j omega naught, right? Let me put down the values. So it is 2 into 1 by 2 root 2 cos of 2t, cos of 2t minus pi by 4, cos of 2t minus pi by 4, right? So that is 2 and 2 cancelled, 1 by root 2 cos of 2t minus pi by 4. No, Mihra, not necessary. Not necessary. This analysis, मैंने बोला ना, this analysis is applicable for both sine and cos. That is what I told. Sinusoidal input means sine or cos. So this derivation, which मैंने बोला derivation is this derivation is done in the signals course, but the formula is applicable for both sine as well as cos. Okay, so no need to convert it. It is applicable for both individually. So I am getting as final answer 1 by root 2 cos 2t minus pi by 4. Cos 2t minus pi by 4, 1 by root 2, matlab 2 raised to the power minus 0.5, option D. Option D. No, Girish, Ramprasad and Aruna, it's not 0. It's not 0. It's 2 raised to the power, because what is the value of 1 by root 2? 1 by root 2 can be written as, ऊपर ले जाएंगे तो power minus, and half is 0.5. 2 power minus 0.5 cos of 2t minus pi by 4. Okay, got it? So any confusion, Girish, Aruna and Ramprasad? It is not 0. So option number D, 2 power minus 0.5 cos 2t minus pi by 4. Yes, option number D, final answer for the question number 2. No, Suman, it's going to be a lot of time consuming. No need to go for that. Guys, one more question. Very simple question. It was asked in GATE 2020. GATE 2022 mark. Okay. It's again basically a question from signals only, but I am using this question here so that you are comfortable with the analysis, with the formula that should be fed in your mind. I'll continue my analysis for the control system. Yes. Okay, Aruna. Yes, guys, correct answer. Yes, Yogandar, Girish, Zayan, Masoom, Sarthak, Sindhu, Ram Prasad, Vikas. Correct answer. It's a simple question basically. A system with the transfer function 1 by s plus a positive is subjected to an input 5 cos 3t. The steady state output of the system is 1 by root 10 cos 3t minus 1.892. What is the value of a? What is the value of a? Okay, so see what is the input given. The input is 5 cos 3t and the output, steady state output, is given as 1 by root 10 cos 3t minus 1.892. No need to go for phase, magnitude will give you the simple result. So that means this amplitude, which is 1 by root 10, it should be equal to what? 1 by root 10. The magnitude of the output is equal to magnitude of the input multiplied by mod of gj omega naught. The transfer function is specified as gs and frequency domain it becomes gj omega. Okay, so mod of gj omega naught. Correct. Where what is the value of omega naught? Omega naught is the input frequency. From here you will say that omega naught is 5. Omega naught is equal to 3. Sorry. Omega naught is 3. Okay. So what is mod of gj omega naught is equal to 1 by 5 root 10. Okay. So now let us use the gj omega. Putting s equal to j omega, you get 1 upon s plus 1, that is 1 plus j omega into a plus s, that is a plus j omega. So what is the mod of gj omega naught? That should become 1 upon under root of 1 plus omega naught square into a square plus omega naught square, and this value should be equated to 1 by 5 root 10, and you just have to put down the value of omega naught equal to 3. Okay, so that means 1 upon under root 1 plus 3 square, that is 10, into a square plus 3 square, that is a square plus 9, equal to 1 by 5 root 10. So root 10 cancelled. You have 1 upon under root a square plus 9 equal to 1 by 5. That means a square plus 9, you take square, it is 25. A square is 16 and a is equal to 4 because it is given that positive. A is positive. So a equal to 4. Final answer 4. Simple question for 2 mark. GATE 2020 में पूछा था. Final answer is 4. Right? Got it, everyone? Now, answer me one more question so that we move towards our second order control system, understanding the frequency response of that. We'll get back to the control system. Just can you give me one more answer here? Consider a system with this transfer function given 1 upon s plus 1. Determine the response of the system to the input 2 sine 3t. Solve it quickly. Okay, so I hope you have solved this one. Consider a system with the transfer function 1 upon s plus 1. Determine the response of the system for the input 2 sine 3t. Okay, so let us just solve this. What is the transfer function given? 1 upon s plus 1. So what is the frequency response? Tj omega 1 upon 1 plus s, and put s equal to j omega, right? What is mod of Tj omega? Magnitude function will be 1 upon under root 1 plus omega square. Phase function phi j omega will be minus, okay, numerator is again positive real number 0 degree, okay, minus tan inverse y by x, that is minus tan inverse omega. Okay, now there is some input given to me. And that is 2 sine 3t, correct? Yeah, 2 sine 3t. So what is the output for this? What is the frequency of this signal? Is 3. Okay, so what is the output for this? It is going to be 2. It is going to be 2 multiplied by mod of Tj omega naught into sine of 3t plus phi j omega naught. So this is equal to 2 into mod of Tj omega naught. Put omega naught equal to 3 here. That is 1 upon under root 1 plus 3 square sine of 3t minus tan inverse omega naught, and omega naught is equal to 3. So this answer is, guys, 2 divided by root 10 into sine of 3t minus, what is this angle coming up as? Yes. Yes, it is coming up as 1.25 in the form of radian. Okay, in the form of radian. Yes, Ram Prasad, what you're writing in the form of degrees? Yes, guys, 71.56 if you have written, that is degree, specified degree. Okay, otherwise I have written the answer in the standard form, that is radian, 1.25. Okay, that is the output, it is solved. Okay, it is the output that is solved. Now, listen to this one. Okay, suppose if I give you RT equal to just sine 3t. Now make this clear that what is the input? Make some concepts now. Sine 3t is the input and the output is sine 3t minus 1.25. Matlab it is shifted. It is shifted in phase as compared to the input term. Okay, but what about the frequency of the output? That is same. The frequency of the output is 3 and the frequency of the input is 3. That means the whenever a periodic signal, same frequency matlab same time period, obviously, because what is the value of time period? 2 pi by omega naught. Okay, so when a periodic signal is applied to a LTI system, the response is also periodic. The response is always oscillatory. Always periodic matlab always oscillatory, having the same frequency as the input. Okay, having the same frequency as the input. The response of LTI system, to a periodic input, periodic matlab obviously oscillatory, to a periodic sinusoidal input is also periodic sinusoidal, having the same frequency. Okay, having the same frequency. Now that means, suppose I had first taken the input as 2 sine 3t. Okay, 2 sine 3t. Now I may take the input as sine 3t. I may take the input as 3 sine 3t. What is going to change? The output is always going to be in the form of sine 3t plus minus something. Okay. So let me show you some values. We know what is the output amplitude. What is the output amplitude? What is the formula that we have used? Input amplitude into amplitude of the magnitude. That means the amplitude of the frequency response. What is the Tj omega naught in general? Just considering this example only. The mod Tj omega is 1 upon under root 1 plus omega square. 1 upon under root 1 plus omega square. Look at this. Let us not calculate. I have directly prepared some calculations for you. Just look at this. If the input is sin t, okay, what will be the output for the same system, considering the same system? So what is the frequency I am taking now? 1. What is the frequency I am taking? 1. So put down frequency equal to 1. I'll write it here. What was mod Tj omega naught? What was mod of Tj omega? Same example. Under root 1 plus omega square. 1 upon under root 1 plus omega square. Okay. So for signal I am taking omega naught equal to 1. Put omega naught equal to 1. You get 1 by root 2 into sin t minus some phase. I am not calculating the phase right now. Just observe the amplitude. Then I consider another sinusoidal signal having the frequency 2. Output will also have the frequency 2, but what is the amplitude of the output? It is 1 upon under root 1 plus 2 square. So that becomes 1 by root 5. Okay. Similarly, if the frequency is 3, it becomes 1 by root 10 into sin 3t. Same input and output frequency is same, sin 3t minus phi 3, because that phi function will also come na. Phi j omega was equal to minus tan inverse omega. Understanding with respect to the same question which I have given you last. Okay. That means, now listen to the final point. That means, firstly what I told you. Yes, exactly. Amplitude reducing. Sometimes it may increase for another system, and that is what the analysis we are going to do. Firstly, I told you the response of system to a periodic signal will also be periodic. Matlab, input and output are both oscillatory. Okay. At what amplitude the output is oscillating? See, I have considered the inputs which have amplitude equal to 1. But in each and every case, the output is oscillating at different amplitude. Why it is oscillating at different amplitude? Because the amplitude of output depends on this function, 1 upon under root 1 plus omega square. Okay, so the output of a system is always oscillatory, but it is oscillating at different frequency. It is oscillating at different amplitude for different frequencies. Sometimes the peaks may be large. For some other signal, it may be small. Okay, so it is oscillating at different amplitudes for different frequency. And guys, such a property of an oscillatory system is defined as resonance. It is the property of an oscillatory system. Such that it oscillates at different amplitudes for different frequencies. It oscillates at different amplitudes for different frequency. There is a very important role of resonance while you study the network analysis also. So you will again see the resonance and application of resonant frequency and all once you study the network analysis subject. It is the property of an oscillatory system such that it oscillates at different amplitude for different frequency, and that property, that phenomena is defined as resonance. Okay, so because it is oscillating at different amplitude for different frequency, there will be one frequency, guys, at which the amplitude of oscillation reaches the peak, reaches the maxima. Okay, and that frequency is known as the resonant frequency. Okay, related with the maximum amplitude of oscillation. The frequency at which the maximum amplitude of oscillation occurs, because the amplitude of oscillation is different for different frequency, and the frequency at which the maximum amplitude of oscillation occurs is the resonant frequency. And the maximum value of mod Tj omega, that magnitude, okay, the maximum value of that magnitude function is known as the resonant peak, of the system. Okay, so these are the three calculations that we are going to learn in this class, that is the resonant frequency, resonant peak, and the bandwidth. Okay, for second order, first order systems. 3 dB bandwidth, it is the frequency at which the magnitude drops to 1 by root 2 times the zero frequency value. Why it is taken like that? This is again bandwidth you study in the signals. Bandwidths and all, it is to do with frequency, and you study complete, one of the very important portion of signals course is about frequency analysis only. What is frequency? Now, what is the frequency response? How do you calculate the frequency terms of a signal? What are the various frequencies involved in the signal? What is bandwidth of a system? All this is learned in signals. Okay, I'll give you a very brief idea why it is named as 3 dB bandwidth. 3 dB bandwidth actually it is also known as half power bandwidth. It is also known as half power bandwidth. Okay, and power ratios are usually considered in the form of log. That is 10 log P naught by Pi. So 3 dB bandwidth, basically half power bandwidth, is the frequency at which the power of the output becomes half of the applied input power. That means the ratio is 10 log half. 10 log half. Yes, Anusha, we are going to use the zero frequency value. Just wait for it. Basically, DC value, zero frequency. We are going to use in the calculation. You will understand. So, when the power becomes half, the frequency at which the power become half is basically the half power bandwidth, and also known as 3 dB. Why 3 dB? Because 10 log half is basically minus 10 log 2, and that will be equal to minus 3 dB when you calculate it in log. Guys, once I start the Bode plots now, once I start the Bode plot, because Bode plot, if you know, it is a log plot. It is also known as a log plot. So once I go and start the Bode plot, there I will give you some important discussions about log. Why we are taking log, what is the help for taking log, why the powers are taken in form of log. Some students have confusion always ki sometimes when to take 10 log, when to take 20 log. Okay, what actually the concept is, what is the meaning of decibel, okay, how all this is related, I will describe this once I start the Bode plots. Okay, everything about the decibel scale, what is decibel, because magnitude on the Bode plot is sketched on the decibel scale. So you need to know what is decibel, you need to know what is the importance of log, how to deal with log, why we take log, Bode plots कैसे simplify होंगे by taking log. All such considerations I will do once I start the Bode plots. Okay, so a 10 log P naught by Pi, half power bandwidth is the frequency at which the power becomes half. Okay, that means the power reduces by 3 dB. Becoming half, matlab in the decibel scale, the power is said to reduce by 3 dB. And also the power of a signal, ठीक है, if you have learned any time what is the power of sinusoid signal, it is a square by 2. अगर आपने कहीं पे भी पहले स्टडी किया है नेटवर्क में या सिग्नल्स में, what is the power of a sinusoid signal, it is given by a square by 2. Okay, and not only for sinusoid, for any periodic signal, power is basically proportional to amplitude square. Okay, so if the power becomes half, okay, that is 1 by 2. So amplitude square becomes 1 by 2, and that means amplitude becomes 1 by root 2 times. 1 by root 2 times. So that is why I've given the definition in the form of amplitude. It is the frequency at which the amplitude or the magnitude drops to 1 by root 2 times. Because the power becomes half, so the amplitude becomes 1 by root 2 times the zero frequency value. As compared to the DC value. The frequency at which the magnitude becomes 1 by root 2 times the DC frequency magnitude, the zero frequency magnitude, right? So we are now going to calculate all of these terms, resonant peak, resonant frequency, and the 3 dB bandwidth of the system. Okay. Chali. So before I start the calculation of this now, let us take the screenshots quickly first. From the beginning of the class, quickly take the screenshots, then I will start these three discussions. Yeah. Yes, guys, you can take the screenshots now so that we move forward. Next one. Next one. Yeah, Madhava, that is also correct. But what the case we are going to take right now, the maximum will be at zero frequency only. That is why we are going to consider. It is also applicable. It is applicable in a different context. So that's what I told you. More about bandwidths. You study in the signal. So zero frequency is taken here. So that's also another way of defining Madhava. You are also correct, but right now we are going to consider it with respect to zero frequency. Screenshots ले लीजिए quickly. Next one. Next. Next one. Next. Next one. Next. Next. Next one. Next. Next. Okay. Chali, let's continue now. Hope you have taken your notes. Yes. So starting the analysis for second order control systems first. Starting the analysis for second order control system whose transfer function we already know. C by R. We have learned so much about the second order control system. Omega n square upon s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n square. And for frequency response, you will put s equal to j omega. So I have just substituted s equal to j omega. Just look at this basic calculations I have done for you. Put s equal to j omega. Okay, so what is the value of j square? It is minus 1. So omega n square minus omega square. This becomes the real part. Look at this. And plus 2 zeta omega n s equal to j omega. So this is the imaginary part now. That is j 2 zeta omega n omega. Okay. Now what I am doing next, if you are able to understand with the step, what I have done, I have divided by omega n square. So 1 upon, this is also divided, 1 minus omega square by omega n square plus j 2 zeta omega by omega n. Okay. And now you can put omega by omega n. So as to make our calculation simple, I am using a step, put omega by omega n equal to u. Okay. So I get 1 minus u. This is also form of u square and this is also u. Okay, so 1 upon 1 minus u square plus j 2 zeta u. And also notice that originally we were writing tj omega, function of omega, but omega is replaced in the form of u. Okay, so now it is a function of u. Okay, so for some time let us make our calculation simple by writing omega by omega n equal to u. Later on we will again replace by q. Okay. So now let me continue with the calculations. Okay, this is tu. This is tu. So now, starting with, guys, just see, it's a very simple calculation. There are two cases, that is why I will derive, otherwise you will not understand both the cases. I can give the direct formula also, but there are two cases of resonant frequency and resonant phase, and that is why I am doing one simple calculation. What is the magnitude? Okay, let me call the magnitude as m, mod of tu. Mod of tu is equal to 1 upon under root 1 minus u square whole square. Guys, what I am doing, this is x plus jy. So the magnitude is root over x square plus y square. So plus 4 zeta square u square. 4 zeta square u square, right? Now, now, why I am using the magnitude only? Because first I am involving in the calculation of resonant peak and resonant frequency. Okay, what is resonant peak or resonant frequency? The frequency at which the maximum amplitude of oscillation occur is the resonant frequency, and the maximum value of mod Tj omega is the resonant peak. So I need to calculate the maxima. Okay, I need to calculate the maxima, and what we know that what will you do for maxima? You will differentiate this function, which is a function of u right now, differentiate the function with respect to u and equate it to 0. The basic calculus rule. Use dm by du equal to 0. So it is 1 upon root x form, and what is the differentiation of 1 upon root x? Okay, 1 upon root x. Okay, 1 upon root x matlab x power minus half, and differentiation of x power minus half will be minus half x raised to the power minus 3 by 2. Okay, and then apply the chain rule obviously. So what is the differentiation? I need to solve dm by du equal to 0. That means starting the differentiation. Okay, starting the differentiation. None agrees. That is the differentiation of root x. Root x has the differentiation 1 by 2 root x. It is 1 upon root x. So I am getting the differentiation minus half x power minus 3 by 2. X matlab this whole denominator. That is 1 minus u square whole square plus 4 zeta square u square. This is x raised to the power minus 3 by 2. Minus half x power minus 3 by 2, and then apply the chain rule. Differentiate again this bracket term with respect to u. So it is equal to twice 1 minus u square minus 2u plus differentiation of 4u square. Zeta is constant obviously. Zeta is constant, to 8 zeta square u. And put it equal to 0. Okay. This is equal to, I will write it neatly. I have minus 4u 1 minus u square plus 8 zeta square u divided by minus half को separate कर लेते हैं. Minus half is separated. No, because it is power minus 3 by 2, I will write it in the denominator. So it is 1 minus u square whole square plus 4 zeta square u square power 3 by 2. Okay, and this has to be equated to 0. Okay, so obviously if you have to equate to 0, you will equate the numerator to 0. So you have minus 4u 1 minus u square plus 8 zeta square u equal to 0. Equate this to 0. Okay, so let us take what common? Minus 4u. Okay, minus 4u 1 minus u square minus 2 zeta square equal to 0. Now there are two solutions coming up from here, guys. Now listen, it has importance. There are two solutions. That is why I told I will consider the case either u equal to 0 or 1 minus u square minus 2 zeta square equal to 0. Okay. Right. So what is the value of u square is 1 minus 2 zeta square. So u, what is u? What is u? Where is the u, guys? Yeah, omega by omega n. The u is equal to omega by omega n. U equal to omega divide by omega n, and that is equal to root over 1 minus 2 zeta square. So what is omega r? That omega is known as omega r, the resonant frequency, because the frequency is obtained by taking the derivative. We are talking about the maxima, and that is given by omega n under root 1 minus 2 zeta square. Yes, Pavan Chandra, already your friends have helped you. You can follow that. Omega n under root 1 minus 2 zeta square. Under root 1 minus 2 zeta square. Okay. Now, it is a formula coming up as omega r equal to omega n under root 1 minus 2 zeta square is valid. See, frequency cannot be imaginary. Frequency cannot be imaginary. This formula is valid only if 1 minus 2 zeta square is positive. 1 minus 2 zeta square is positive because under root of a negative number will give rise to an imaginary term and frequency can't be imaginary. And solving that, you get zeta equal to 1 by zeta less than 1 by root 2. Okay. Okay. And if zeta is greater than or equal to 1 by root 2, then the omega r is given by the second solution. Then this is not defined, then this does not exist. This is applicable only when the frequency is real, and frequency is real up to zeta less than 1 by root 2. And if zeta is greater than 1 by root 2, u is equal to 0. That is omega r equal to 0. Okay, that is the importance of both the solution. Now, what is the magnitude also? Okay, what is the magnitude also? Now, Preetham, no, resonant frequency or damping frequency, they're not the same. Damped frequency हम omega d बोलते हैं. ठीक है. Yes, Girish, I am talking about underdamped only. Underdamped maybe it is divided into two parts because underdamped is zeta less than 1. Okay. So from zeta up to 1 by root 2, it is giving the resonant frequency as omega and under root 1 minus 2 zeta square. Okay. What does it mean graphically also? I will show you. Just wait. I have some graphs also. We'll discuss that graphs. Now, this is the value of omega only. Okay. And I want the maximum value of the function also. What is the maximum value of the function? Let us solve that now. Let us solve that. Okay. At omega equal to omega r, what is the magnitude? That is mod of du, and that is equal to Preetham, I don't think formula is same. Recall, I don't think the formula is same. Yes, Preetham. What is the formula for omega d? It is not omega n under root 1 minus 2 zeta square. 2 zeta square. Preetham, formula is not same. Mod of du. What was mod of du? It was under root 1 upon under root 1 minus u square whole square plus 4 zeta square u square. Okay. Look at this. This function I'm talking about. Just go differentiate kya. This is the magnitude function. 1 upon under root 1 minus u square whole square plus 4 zeta square u square. Okay. So I will first put the case that zeta is less than 1 by root 2. If zeta is less than 1 by root 2, the first case. So what is the value of u square in that case? 1 minus 2 zeta square. Okay, so put u square equal to 1 minus 2 zeta square. Okay, and calculate the magnitude. That magnitude is equal to 1 upon under root of 1 minus u square becomes directly 2 zeta square, the whole square, plus 4 zeta square, and u square is 1 minus 2 zeta square. Solving this quickly, you are getting the magnitude as 1 upon under root of 2 zeta square whole square. So it is 4 zeta power 4 plus 4 zeta square minus 4 to 8 zeta power 4. Finally, this is 1 upon under root of 4 zeta square minus 4 zeta power 4. Take out 4 zeta square common and under root lene ke baad that 4 zeta square will become 2 zeta root 1 minus zeta square. Okay. Okay. And I will summarize the formula. And if zeta is greater than 1 by root 2, okay, then what is the magnitude? Then what is the solution of u? I've told this also. If zeta is greater than 1 by root 2, omega is 0, so u is also equal to 0. So when you put the u equal to 0 in the function, magnitude is 1 upon under root 1 minus u square whole square plus 4 zeta square u square. Overall, the magnitude is just equal to 1. In this one, put u equal to 0 and 0 for the second case. Okay, so magnitude is just equal to 1. Okay. So guys, that is what the final conclusion is for you. For the numerical question, this is important. If zeta is less than 1 by root 2, then the resonant frequency omega r is omega n under root 1 minus 2 zeta square. And the resonant peak mr, it is known as mr, the maximum value of the magnitude at resonance. Okay, 1 upon 2 zeta under root 1 minus zeta square. This formula, 1 upon 2 zeta under root 1 minus zeta square. Okay, and if zeta is greater than 1 by root 2, then the resonant frequency is just 0 and the magnitude is equal to 1. And the magnitude is equal to 1. Okay, now these are some of the variations. These are some of the variations that I need to show. I have a proper MATLAB graph also. Look at this first. Mod of tu as a function of u. Okay, as the value of zeta increases, as the value, we can prove from the function also, as the value of zeta increases, the value of the resonant peak will decrease, and also the value of omega r will shift left, matlab omega r also decreases. But when zeta is greater than or equal to 1 by root 2, when zeta is greater than or equal to 1 by root 2, in that case, guys, what will happen? There is what I told. In that case, the resonant peak is just equal to 1, and that is obtained at what frequency? That is obtained at 0 frequency. That is obtained at the 0 frequency. Matlab only in the beginning. If at all there is any resonant peak, it is only at this point, beginning. And beyond that, the function just decreases. It is not going to be any other peak. So maximum value is at 0, and then the magnitude function decreases. Okay. Look at this waveform for different values of zeta. If you are able to see now, see, just I will highlight this. Look at this. Zeta equal to 0.707. Zeta equal to 0.707, jahan pe the curves have started becoming flattened, they will not rise above 1. If zeta is any value less than 0.707, so you are getting the value of the peak. Okay, but the value of peak decreases if the zeta increases, and also if you are able to see, like I shown in the last graph also, the omega r decreases. Okay, and if you take any value of zeta greater than 0.707, okay, like 1 or even overdamped also, there is no resonant peak. It is just equal to 1. There is no other resonant peak. It is just equal to 1, and that is obtained when the frequency is 0. So guys, what I want to say is that you have to remember the formula into two parts: zeta less than 1 by root 2 and zeta greater than 1 by root 2. And if zeta is greater than 1 by root 2, there is resonant peak that is equal to 1. Maximum value is 1 and obtained at 0 frequency. Other than that, there is no resonant peak. Okay. And also I will write down with this graph. I will clearly write down with this graph that if zeta is increasing, then the resonant peak is decreasing, and also if the zeta is increasing, the resonant frequency is also shifting left, matlab that is also decreasing. Okay, so you have to remember the variation of resonant peak and frequency with respect to zeta. Just as a factual point, you must remember what is the effect of increasing zeta on the resonant frequency and omega r. Okay. And then what are the type of numerical questions, that also we will see. Just wait a while. Now, next calculation, let me also complete the bandwidth. Then I will ask you to take screenshots, and then we have some numericals on these points. Next, let us go for the bandwidth. Which bandwidth I am telling? The 3 dB bandwidth. To be very honest, with respect to gate, bandwidth calculations for second order will not be that common. It may be for first order. I will talk about first order also. Okay, but it's not going to be very important in gate. Okay, because the formula is complicated, and that is why rather than writing the formula, what is the approach of bandwidth? Remember, otherwise formula you will always get confused. What is the definition of 3 dB bandwidth? What did I told? Final definition. The final definition, what? It is the frequency omega 3 dB is that frequency at which the magnitude mod of Tj omega becomes 1 by root 2 times the 0 frequency value. Okay. Let me first write it down in the form of u only, because agar omega 0 hai, to u is also 0. So mod of Tu is equal to 1 by root 2 times the 0 frequency value. That is what is the definition I have already told to you. So what is that mod function? 1 upon under root 1 minus u square whole square plus 4 zeta square u square is equal to 1 by root 2. And when you put u equal to 0, okay, directly put u equal to 0 here, you get 1. You get 1. The magnitude at 0 frequency 1. I have shown in the graph also. Anytime the magnitude at 0 frequency is 1. At omega equal to 0, the magnitude is 1. So what will you do? You will equate the denominator. Even cancel the square root. So you have 1 minus u square whole square plus 4 zeta square u square is equal to 2. Again, I repeat, bandwidth questions, numerical questions will be important with respect to omega r and mr, but not with respect to bandwidth. Okay, but agar aata hai to just solve it by this method. Give the magnitude equal to 1 by root 2 into 1. Okay, otherwise formula jo aane wala, that is complicated, but why I am writing the formula? Because I need to give you some key points also. Some conclusions also are important. So let us just solve this now. This is 1 plus u power 4 minus 2u square plus 4 zeta square u square is equal to 2. Okay, so simplifying this, you are getting u raised to the power 4, okay, plus 4 zeta square minus 2 into u square minus 1 equal to 0. This 2 is shifted on the left hand side, 1 minus 2 equal to 1. And to solve this, put down u square equal to x so that you get a quadratic equation. You get a quadratic equation now, x square plus 4 zeta square minus 2 into x minus 1 equal to 0. So what is the value of x? What is the value of x? X is equal to quadratic formula, minus of b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac. So minus 4 into a into c, this minus 1 is whole divided by 2. Okay, and that is equal to minus of 4 zeta square minus 2 plus minus root over, if I solve this, 4 zeta square, so 16 zeta power 4 plus 4, okay, minus 2, 4, 8, 16 zeta square minus 2ab, this becomes plus 4 divided by 2. See, it is definitely complicated. Now, I'll just hide my view. Even if I take out 2 common and divide it, so this is minus of 2 zeta square minus 1 plus minus of 2 zeta square minus 1 plus minus. Here also if I take out what common? 4 common divided by 2. So under root के अंदर क्या बचेगा? 4 zeta power 4 minus 4 zeta square plus 2. Okay, plus 2. And that is what? That is equal to x, and x is equal to, x किसके लिए substitute किया था? U square. So x is equal to U square. X is equal to U square. So what is the final answer taken? U square is always positive. Square is always positive. Okay. Square is always taken as positive. To neglect this minus sign, because of this minus sign. Actually quadratic have 2 roots, but because of this minus sign, the answer may go negative. Okay. So what is the x taken? What is the x taken? X, that is equal to U square, that is minus of 2 zeta square minus 1. चलो minus को भी adjust कर देते हैं. 1 minus 2 zeta square plus okay. नहीं विकास 16 ही होगा ना. 2ab, 2 into 4 into 2, 2ab, it is 16 only, plus root over 4 zeta power 4 minus 4 zeta square plus 2, taking only the plus solution. Okay, and then what is u? Let me write down the u only. This is u square. Okay, so what is the value of u? Is under root of this term. Under root of this term. But what is u? It is omega by omega n. So what is omega? Final answer, what is omega 3 dB? It is equal to, multiply omega n on the right, 1 minus 2 zeta square plus under root of 4 zeta power 4 minus 4 zeta square plus 2 raised to the power half. Okay, and that is why I told formula. And gate के respect में numericals also not expected. Definitely such numericals are expected in exams like engineering services mains. engineering services means such numericals, such formulas can be expected, but don't remember if you're focusing only on gate. But yeah, how to solve bandwidth. Suppose if there is less chance of 3 dB bandwidth for second order question coming in gate. Suppose if it comes, you know the transfer function of a second order control system. Just use this. Okay, just use this. Mod of tu is equal to 1 by root 2 mod of t0. Use this directly rather than remembering such formula which is not very less chances of coming. Okay, but with this formula, I want you to consider one calculation. With this formula, I want you to understand one general conclusion. Right. Now look at this. This whole bracket, it depends only on zeta. Okay. It depends only on zeta. So suppose if zeta is fixed, so what is the bandwidth? It is proportional to omega n. Zeta is constant. Overall, this whole term that is inside the under root and bracket, it is just constant. Okay, so omega 3 dB directly depends on omega n. It is proportional to omega n, guys. And recall, can I expect you some formula? Do you remember the rise time formula? The time taken by the step response to reach the desired value for the first time. Do you remember that formula, transient formula? I'm relating one transient parameter with the frequency domain parameter. Yes, do we remember the TR formula, guys? Are we practicing at home? Are we revising the notes at home? What is the TR formula? Yes, no one? Yeah, Zain correct. Soumya correct. Yeah, Atharva, Ramya, Nihar correct. Okay, so it is given by pi minus phi divided by omega t. Okay, and that is equal to pi minus phi. Phi is cos inverse of zeta because zeta is cos phi divided by omega d, which is omega n under root 1 minus zeta square. Okay, and once again here also, if I treat zeta as constant, so overall numerator pi is constant, cos inverse zeta is constant. Okay, denominator mein this term 1 minus zeta square is also constant. So overall the rise time that you will see is equal to some constant divided by omega n. Okay, or I can say that the rise time is proportional to 1 upon omega n, inversely proportional to omega n, whereas the bandwidth is directly proportional to omega n. So what is the relation that you can put with respect to rise time and bandwidth of a system? With respect to rise time and bandwidth of a system, what is the relation that you can put? Yes. What is the relation between rise time and bandwidth? They are also obviously inversely related to each other. Remember that. Okay, now this fact is important. That is why I was exploring the formula. The bandwidth and the rise time of a system are inversely proportional to each other. The bandwidth and the rise time of a system are inversely proportional to each other. That means if there is low rise time value, also it means that the system is having high speed, because if the rise time is low, it is reaching the desired value quickly. For the first time it is reaching it quickly, higher speed. And low rise time also means high bandwidth. Okay, so there is also this statement that you must remember, that higher speed and higher bandwidth go together. Higher the speed, higher the bandwidth of the system. Higher the speed, higher the bandwidth of the system. Higher the speed, higher the bandwidth of the system. Okay. Higher the speed, higher the bandwidth of the system. All right. Higher the speed, higher the bandwidth of the system, right? Now, Now, let us apply some of these formulas on the first order control systems as well. Let us apply them on the first order control system as well. First order control system we have learned, the transfer function is 1 upon 1 plus st. Put s equal to j omega. Put s equal to j omega, so you get the frequency domain function first of all. What is this? This is the transfer function, and what we have defined the second one, it is defined as the FR, frequency response of the system, 1 upon 1 plus j omega t. Okay, the response, the step response of the system is already observed earlier. We have learned this is the step response waveform that I have placed in front of you. That is the step response waveform that I have placed in front of you, right? First of all, guys, I am going to start the bandwidth calculation for first order. Okay, the bandwidth calculation, or for bandwidth calculation, I need to check what is mod of Tj omega. Okay, this is Tj omega. Simple. यहाँ पे very simple calculation है. 1 upon 1 plus j omega t. So what is the magnitude of this function? 1 upon, write down under root x square plus y square. So 1 plus omega square t square. 1 upon under root 1 plus omega square t square. Right. And for 3 dB bandwidth, same calculation at omega equal to omega 3 dB. Put the mod of Tj omega equal to 1 by root 2 into the zero frequency magnitude. So 1 upon the magnitude function 1 upon 1 plus root omega square t square is 1 by root 2 into, see what will be the magnitude at zero frequency. Put omega 0. So you just get 1. You just get 1. Okay. So solving this, you get, just equating the denominator, 1 plus omega square t square equal to 2. Solving this, you get what is omega 3 dB. It is 1 upon t, 1 upon inverse of the time constant. What was t in the first order analysis? T was equal to the time constant of the system, and the 3 dB bandwidth is equal to 1 upon t. It's equal to 1 upon t, right? The 3 dB bandwidth of a first order control system is 1 upon t. Okay. Now, what about the rise time for first order control system? Now, what is the definition of rise time for overdamped? I have to make you recall. If you have forgotten, I have to make you recall. And remember, I have given you two definitions. In the transient parameter class, I have given you two parameters. For underdamped, rise time is the time taken for output. Yes, exactly, Madhava and Nihar, you are able to recall, correct, Lasya? Yes, output to change from 0 to 100%. Okay, 100% obviously for the first time. Okay, but for overdamped, I had given you the definition, and मैंने बोला था कि in some of the class I am going to come back to the first order control system at the appropriate time. And first order response we know overdamped only, and that is defined as the time taken for the output to change from 10% to 90% of its final value. Okay, of its final value. I am all good, Sai Tharun. How are you joining the session right now? So that is what I have taken this graph for. 10% matlab 0.1, because the final value is actually 1, and 90% means 0.9. So let's say at time t1 the output is 10% and at t2 the output is equal to 90%, and the difference of them, guys, the difference of them is known as the rise time. Okay, so already we have no need to note the definitions. Already you have the definitions from the transient class, just I have repeated for you. Okay, so I'm just going to calculate it now. Okay, what is the CT? For the first order, the CT was given by 1 minus e raised to the power minus t by t. Okay, at t equal to t1, what is the output? It is 10%, that is 0.1. Okay, so put down 0.1 equal to 1 minus e raised to the power minus t1 by t. Okay, so what is the value of e raised to the power minus t1 by t is equal to 1 minus 0.1, that is 0.9. So minus of t1 divided by t is equal to ln 0.9. Don't calculate the log values right now. Just write down the answers, and t1 is equal to minus t ln 0.9. Okay, minus t ln 0.9. Now at t equal to t2, at t equal to t2, ठीक है, the output is 90%. So 0.9 is equal to output 1 minus e raised to the power minus t2 by t. So here you get e raised to the power minus t2 by t is 1 minus 0.9, that is 0.1. Minus t2 by t is ln 0.1, and t2 is equal to minus t ln 0.1. Okay. Now what is the rise time, guys? What is the rise time? TR, it is the difference of them. T2 minus T1. आपने कभी भी अगर network, if you have studied RC circuit, your result you are going to get, you will be able to relate with the RC circuit. Anytime you have studied network, analog, RC circuit, anywhere you are going to get an expected result now. T2 minus T1. See, what is T2? It is minus T ln 0.1. Minus T1, that is minus T ln 0.9. Okay. And you get t ln 0.9 minus ln 0.1. ठीक है, what is log a minus log b is equal to log of a by b. ठीक है, तो t log 9, 0.9 by 0.1. Calculate, use your calculators to get the expected result. To get your expected result, 2.19. Okay, which is approximately taken as 2.2 t. The rise time. ठीक है, so if I ask you what is the rise time for a first order RC circuit, for the first order series RC low pass filter, what is the rise time? It is given by 2.2. What was the time constant of the RC circuit? Because while explaining control system, I have taken the example of first order RC circuit. The time constant was equal to T was equal to RC. Okay, so 2.2 RC. That is the result for the first order RC low pass filter. The rise time is 2.2 RC. Right? Now, once again, okay, that's about RC circuit. But once again, if I relate the rise time and the bandwidth, once again, if I just relate the rise time and the bandwidth for the first order system as well, for the first order system as well, you will see a result. See, first order के लिए what is the final summary? For the first order control system, what is my bandwidth? 1 upon t. And what is my rise time? It is 2.2 t. It is 2.2 t. Okay. And once again, rise time, it is proportional to time constant, and here it is proportional to 1 upon time constant. So rise time is inversely proportional to the bandwidth. And that is the general statement I've given, not only for first order, not only for second order. It is a general result that rise time and the bandwidth of a system are always inversely proportional to each other. Always inversely proportional to each other. Okay. Yeah. Chaliye. So let us take the screenshots and then we'll go for a few numerical questions. I think from the beginning of the derivation, we have taken the screenshots up to the definition. Now start from here. Now you can start taking the screenshots from this point, and then we have some numerics. Okay, take down the screenshot. Number 1. Next one. Next one. Next screenshot. Yes, ransom, which expression you are talking about? Next one. Next. First screenshot में तो I have only written the transfer function. The transfer function of second order control system. That's it. Next. Next screenshot. Next one. Next. Next one. Next one. Next. Next one. Next. Next one. These are just definitions. We have already taken the definitions in the transient class. Next screenshot. Next one. Now guys, taking a question. Guys, taking a question now. The open loop and closed loop transfer function of a system are respectively given by Gs equal to K by J omega tau plus 1. That is open loop. And the same system when connected. Name they are used the same. But consider two different configuration. So once is the closed loop, K by 1 plus K, J omega tau C plus 1. The ratio of the bandwidth of the closed loop. See, in the time response, I have already explained you the effect of feedback. Open loop and closed loop. Matlab once you connect the system in closed loop. The effect of feedback on the time constant. That is on the speed we have discussed already in the time response. What is the effect of feedback converting an open loop into a closed loop system? What is the effect of feedback on the bandwidth of the system? This question is about that. This question is about that. To see, once I take the open loop case, what is Gs given? It is K divided by 1 plus J omega tau. As I told you, some of the books use tau as the time constant and some use the T. So when you take this one only in the closed loop, so what should be the transfer function according to you? And then compare with the given one. It is G divided by 1 plus G. Assuming obviously unity feedback. There is no feedback gain given, so obviously we'll assume unity feedback. Now, Write down this as k upon 1 plus j omega tau whole divided by 1 plus g. 1 plus k divided by 1 plus j omega tau. 1 plus j omega tau and 1 plus j omega tau gets cancelled. So it is k divided by 1 plus j omega tau plus k. Okay, let me simplify this up further. Let me simplify this further. So I am getting the closed loop transfer function as, according to my expression. Anyone getting the answer in between, you can comment out clearly. K divided by 1 plus k plus j omega tau, and divide by 1 plus k now. Divide by 1 plus k. So k divided by 1 plus k, because I need the time constant form. Because I need the time constant form. So dividing by 1 plus k, this will become denominator 1 plus j omega tau divided by 1 plus k. Now look at the given question. See, k upon 1 plus k numerator to hai. I have also made you clear ki by changing the system from open loop to closed loop, the gain reduces, the time constant reduces. That is what we have learned in the transient part. Okay, so this numerator, what we have obtained is already given, but what is the time constant of the closed loop system? That is, this basically you have to compare. This basically you have to compare with tau c, and that is tau divided by 1 plus k. Tau divided by 1 plus k. Now that is the effect of the time constant. The effect of time constant is not the question. The question is on bandwidth, ratio of the bandwidth. Okay, and what form? The ratio of the bandwidth of closed loop to open loop. Okay, the ratio of the bandwidth of closed loop to open loop. Just a second. Right. So what is the, yeah, Girish Reddy, correct answer. What is the bandwidth for open loop? Sorry, closed loop divided by the bandwidth for open loop. What is the bandwidth formula, guys? Bandwidth formula for first order, it is 1 upon tau. So 1 upon tau c divided by 1 upon tau. So that is equal to tau divided by tau c. That is equal to tau divided by tau c. Put down the value of tau c. It is tau divided by tau upon k plus 1. So the answer is k plus 1. Okay, it is k plus 1, Anup. Yeah, correct. K plus 1, correct. That is option number B. Option number B. And more important than result note, more important than the option, note that the bandwidth of the system actually increases, because if you remember, can you please say what is the effect on the time constant? Already we have discussed this earlier. But here also you are able to see that the time constant reduces. Originally time constant was tau, it is now tau divided by something. The time constant reduces. फीडबैक से क्या क्या हो रहा है? ठीक है. Gain reduces. We have talked about the first two things. The gain reduces, k to k by 1 plus k. Okay. Second, the time constant. The time constant reduces. ठीक है. Time constant reduces. So speed is better. Because speed किस पे डिपेंड करता है? Speed depends on settling time, and settling time for a first order control system is 4t. 4t, right? So the first two parameters I have also explained in the time response. The next one, what about the bandwidth? The bandwidth also increases. And already I have told you, na, higher bandwidth, higher speed. If the speed increases, bandwidth will increase. So that is again observed here. Look at this. If the speed increases, the bandwidth increases. Right? So till the first 2 points we have seen. Okay. Yeah, Vikas, in ISRO, the question on MR and omega R in ISRO is important. And apart from that, this ISRO conclusions are very more important, like factual form. Effect on bandwidth and time constant with the parameters that I'm speaking. Okay, Vikas? Chaliye. So take the screenshot for this question, then we go to the next question. Take the screenshot quickly. Next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. Next question now. The magnitude of frequency response of an underdamped second order system is 5 at 0 radian per second and peaks to 10 by root 3 at 5 root 2 radian per second. What is the transfer function of the system? What is the transfer function of the system? Okay. So before you start applying the formula and start calculating, I shall tell you one thing here. So that you're not leading into any confusion. It peaks to, the magnitude of the frequency response peaks to 10 by root 3 at 5 root 2 radian per second. That means you can take the frequency at which the peak occurs is resonant frequency and MR as 10 by root 3. But this MR will not be 10 by root 3. Before you start applying this in the question, I am making it clear. It is not going to be 10 by root 3. Why so? Why? Because already at 0 radian per second, the peak, the magnitude is already 5. Okay, let me explain it to you. Then you start calculating. What is the standard transfer function for which we have done the derivation? We have done the derivation for the standard transfer function omega n square upon s square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. Correct? Correct. S square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. Right? Okay. Now, if I put S is equal to j omega and that is j0, zero frequency, the zero frequency gain, what do you get? Put S is equal to 0, so you get the gain as omega n square upon omega n square, that is 1. And already I have shown you in the graphs. If I take you back towards that graph, yes, see, for whatever may be the value of zeta, the magnitude at 0 frequency is equal to 1. The magnitude at 0 frequency equal to 1. Already we have seen that in the graphs also. So, let me come back to the question now. So, it is normally the magnitude equal to 1, right? But given here, better take it here. Listen to me. But given here that gain at 0 frequency, 0 radian per second is equal to 5. So that you have to now take the transfer function as omega n square upon s square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square is multiplied by a constant factor of 5 so that the gain at 0 radian per second is equal to 5. Okay. Also given that, now listen, also given that at omega equal to omega r, that is the resonant frequency 5 root 2, okay, the magnitude peaks to what value? It peaks to 10 by root 3. Okay, magnitude of which function? Of this transfer function. Okay, so that is 5 into 2 by root 3. So what is the maximum magnitude of the standard transfer function? Because guys, the formula that I have given, it is for the standard transfer function. Okay, so what you have to take? So you have to take MR equal to 2 by root 3 for the standard transfer function. For the standard transfer function. Okay. For the standard transfer function. And use the formula mr equal to 1 upon 2 zeta root 1 minus zeta square as 2 by root 3. From this you will get the 2 by root 3. From here you will get the answer for zeta and then use the omega r formula to get the answer for omega n. So you will get the transfer function. Now you can try it. Come on, quickly try this now and give me the results then. Give me the correct options for solving this. Yes, SVA, zeta is correctly given by you. Yeah, options are available here, Girish. Yes, Deepa, correct answer. Yes, Vikas and Madhava, Shubham Bhatt, correct answer. Ria, Zayan, Sindhu, Masoom, Aruna Bhagwati, Shashanka Verma. Yes, all correct answers now. Yes, Sakshi. Chaliye. So let me continue from here. That is equal to 2 by root 3. Now that means, first of all, you will be involving yourself into a quadratic equation, right? Okay, first of all, let me tell you what is zeta into under root 1 minus zeta squared. That will come up as root 3 divided by 4. This shifted here and root 3 by 2 shifted here. Okay, that means take the square, zeta square 1 minus zeta square equal to 3 by 16. 3 by 16. Okay, so now if no Madhava, only one of the option will be correct. Okay, put to solve it, put down zeta square equal to x. So you get x minus x square is 3 by 16. Okay, or rearrange it, x square minus x plus 3 by 16 equal to 0. First of all, solving that, you will get two values of x. X, which is equal to zeta square. Quadratic equation say what are the roots coming, guys? Let me write down the roots for you directly right now. It is x square minus x. So I am getting as 0.75 and 0.25. Okay. So what is the value of zeta? Under root of 0.75. 3 by 4 root 3 by 2. 0.866 and this will be 0.5. Okay. Okay. Now, yes, definitely you are getting two values of zeta, but which of them is to be taken finally? Only one value of zeta will be correct. Only one value of zeta will be correct. Which one to be taken finally? Okay. Remember that you have to take the value. You have to take the value. Not both will be correct. You have to take the value zeta which satisfies 1 by root 2, because if the zeta is greater than or equal to 1 by root 2, then the resonant peak is only one answer, that is 1. That is 1. Okay. So from here you have to neglect one of them. So the final answer of zeta is 0.5, that is 1 by 2. That is less than 1 by root 2. Okay, 1 by root 2 is 0.707. Okay. Now Now, what is omega r? That is 5 root 2. Okay, that is 5 root 2. So, omega r is omega n under root 1 minus 2 zeta square is 5 root 2. So, omega n into under root 1 minus 2 zeta square will be 1 by 4 is 5 root 2. So, omega n into under root of 1 minus half, so that is half equal to 5 root 2. Root 2 shift on the right side. Omega n is equal to 5 into root 2 into 2, that is 5 into 2, answer is 10. Omega n answer is equal to 10. So here we have only one answer, that is equal to 10, right? Okay, so what is the transfer function then? Transfer function then, you can directly go and check the options. I am writing down the value here. 5 into omega n square, that is 10 square, okay, divided by s square plus 2 zeta omega ns plus omega n square. So that is equal to 500 divided by s square plus 10s plus 100. S square plus 10s plus 100. Yeah, Madhava, if you don't check this concept, you will get two options, but the resonant peak is valid. Resonant peak formula is valid only for zeta less than 1 by root. Option number A. Option number A. Right. Acha, I can give you an alternate method also to check zeta. Just follow this. If you want, you can use this calculation as well. Alternate calculation for zeta. अभी हमने कैसे zeta calculate किया है? We have calculated the zeta from the MR formula 1 by 2 zeta under root 1 minus zeta square and then solved a cube quadratic equation. Solve the quadratic equation. Okay. But MR is 1 by 2 zeta under root 1 minus zeta square can be written as 1 minus 2 zeta. Zeta is cos phi, so under root 1 minus zeta square is sin phi, and 2 sin phi cos phi is sin 2 theta. Okay, so for this question, given MR is 2 by root 3 and that is equal to 1 upon sin 2 phi. So what is the value of sin 2 phi? Root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2 occurs at what value of phi? ठीक है, at what value of 2 phi? Suppose this is theta, so sin 60 is root 3 by 2. Okay, so 2 phi should be equal to 60. 60 मतलब pi by 3. ठीक है, or you can write it as 60 degree also, no problem. So what is phi? ठीक है, it is 30 degree. But there should be two solutions. How will you get the two solutions actually? ठीक है, sin theta is equal to root 3 by 2, so that is at 60 degree, and 180 minus 60. Second quadrant may be also sign positive. So it occurs at two angles. That is why the two answers have come from the quadratic equation. So 60 and 120. So it will be phi equal to 30 or 60. Phi equal to 30 or 60. So what is zeta? So zeta is cos phi. एक बार phi आ गया तो zeta is like cos phi, and that is equal to cos 30 cos 60. Cos 30 root 3 by 2. Cos 60 is half. Root 3 by 2 is 0.866 and otherwise 0.5. Same values na, 0.866 and 0.5. Okay. No, Madhava, it must be greater than 45. It must be greater than zeta less than 1 by root 2. ठीक है, zeta is cos phi. Zeta के increase होने से phi decrease होगा. Zeta decrease होने से phi increase होगा. Okay. Yes, Madhava, it should be greater than. So that is why first I have taken zeta, and now once again you will take zeta equal to 0.5, which is less than 1 by root 2. Okay, 1 by root 2. Or you can say that if zeta is less than 1 by root 2, so zeta means cos phi. Cos phi is less than 1 by root 2. That means whatever is phi, that should be greater than 45 degree. Okay, that means ये वाला answer 60. And anyways, we are getting the answer by 60 only. Cos 60 is half. So this way also, this is an alternate calculation for solving the value of zeta if the MR is given. Okay, using the phi. Okay, chaliye, screenshot for this question and then we have the next question. Come on, screenshot for this question and then we go towards the next question, guys. Next. Next one. Next. Next. Next one. Next one. Guys, next question then. GATE 2018 2 marks question, NAT form, numerical answer type question. For a unity feedback control system with the forward part transfer function Gs equal to K by Ss plus 2, the peak resonant magnitude MR of the closed loop system is 2. The corresponding value of the gain K is dash. MR is given to you directly. The peak resonant magnitude of the closed loop frequency response is 2. So using MR, you can first find zeta and then the question is almost solved. Go for it quickly. For a unity feedback control system with the forward part transfer function given to us. Only MR is given, omega R is not given, but that will not be required also. First get the zeta from the MR value. Then you will be able to get the whole answer. If you want, directly use the last method that I have told. MR is equal to 2 and use it as 1 by sine 2 phi. So you will not involve in the quadratic equation. You will not involve yourself in the quadratic equation. Shubham, approximately correct. Correct, Ramya, correct. Correct answer. Yeah, Abhijit and Grish are giving the correct answer for zeta. Masoom and Ramya, correct answers finally. Yes. So MR is equal to 2. So not involving into quadratic equation, I just take 1 upon sine 2 phi. So what is sine 2 phi is 1 by 2. What is sine 2 phi is 1 by 2. So what is the value of 2 phi? What is the value of theta? Sine 30 degree first of all is half, and obviously reverse side में 180 से less होगा, 180 minus 30. So 2 phi is 30 and 150 degree. So phi is 15 degree and 75 degree. Already I have told you take phi greater than 45 degree. So phi is 75 degree and zeta is cos phi. Okay, that is cos 75 degree. Okay, what is this turning up as? For that we can use the calculators. Yes, 0.2588 or 0.258 I am writing. Okay, the zeta is 0.258, correctly specified for you. Okay, yes, Shashanka, Ram Prasad, Sindhu and Deepa, correct answers. Okay, the 0.258 Now zeta is obtained, GS is given, unity feedback hai, forward path transfer function given hai. So what is the characteristic equation? 1 plus GSHS equal to 0. That is 1 plus GS is given as K by S, S plus 2. HS is 1, unity feedback equal to 0. So you get S square plus 2S plus K is 0. Rest you know. Okay, rest you know. नहीं शिवांशु तो एग्जैक्ट आ जाएगा ना इट इज जस्ट एग्जैक्ट sin 30 is half so no need approximation hoga hi nahi sin 30 is half rest you know similar questions so many you have solved in the time response this is omega n square and this is what 2 zeta omega n okay so solve it 2 zeta omega n is equal to 2 so 2 zeta is 0.258 and omega n will be root over k omega n is root over k is equal to 2. 2 and 2 cancelled. Root over k is 1 upon 0.258. So what will be k after solving? I get final answer approximately as 15. Approximately as 15. Okay, if I go with 0.258. Okay, if I go with 0.258, right? Yeah, 14.98 also you are getting. Yeah, if you are, that depends on approximate. NAT question ke liye don't worry about accuracy. There will be a range given. There will be the range given. So here, suppose if you are writing the answer as just 3.87, then and when I take the square separately, then it is giving me as 14.97. That is also fine. 14.9 is also fine. Okay. Approximately 15 is also fine. Okay, guys. That's the answer. All right. Screenshot for this question. Screenshot for this question. That is approximately, Shivansh. That is approximately. If you have solved by quadratic, so quadratic maybe if maybe you are telling by first solving quadratic and then giving the angle. If you have solved by quadratic, then no need to write the angle. No? Then what is the need of angle? Next screenshot. Answer 14.97. And yes, something unexpected today as respect to my class. It's not even 6 p.m. and you see the notification of next class coming up. So guys, today is like good bonus for you. Today is good bonus for you. We are stopping. Usually we always extend a lot, but today it's a good surprise for you. Okay. Yeah, before 4 minutes, it's precisely before 4 minutes. Otherwise, it's always 30 minutes or more than 30 minutes extended. So that's it. This topic is sufficient. This much is enough. Okay. All right. So come on, go and revise. Have your evening snacks. Have refreshment. And revise your thing. Revision is important. And today I'm leaving, but tomorrow is a very important class. Very, very, very important class. Okay, and that is on the Nyquist plot class number 1. Those who are not live today, if they are your friends, inform them because you need to attend this class live only. Okay, because we are going to, in this tomorrow's class, we are going to discuss Nyquist criteria in detail. Okay, in the detail. dovetail with derivation. Ki what led to the Nyquist criteria is very important for any exam, Shivans, not only for GATE. This topic is important for any competitive exam. Any means any competitive engineering based exam. This is very important. And why the detailed derivation is important? Because there have been few very good conceptual questions even in the GATE 2020 also and previous year GATE also, which require the understanding of Nyquist, not only sketching. Okay, sketching to मैं बहुत easily आपको बता दूंगा. There is very simple methods of sketching the Nyquist plot. So guys, don't worry about the sketching of Nyquist plot. It is easy. Simple word में बोलता हूँ, simple and sweet word में बोलता हूँ. It is easy. No need to be any fear of Nyquist plot. The sketching of Nyquist plot will be easy. Okay, but sketching I will go later. First, I will describe you the Nyquist criteria, understand the concept, because in some of the good conceptual questions, the criteria is also important. Okay. All right. Don't worry, Anand Kumar. Yes, we'll take it in a manner it is comfortable for understanding this Nyquist criteria. Live class is important, I think. Okay. No, sketching is not going to be difficult. Don't worry. Sketching will be easy. First, important thing is understanding the concept. And for that, tomorrow I will require whatever concept we need to build. Okay. There is necessary to understand something about complex function. So whenever there is some complex function calculation, I will explain you that also. Okay. So I will explain you how complex functions are plotted, because Nyquist plot mein you are going to take the plot of GSHS and GSHS complex functions in the GSHS plane. In the GSHS planes, okay? So how complex functions are plotted? It is not like, okay, it is not like plotting into any simple thing. Okay, yes, Srikanth, you will understand the advantages once we go towards Nyquist and Bode. Okay, it is not like simple sketching of the function y is a function of x. For real functions, you know the sketches that you study in maths in the calculus. But here it is going to be talk about the sketches of complex function. Okay, and how to make the sketches of complex function look easy. That is what I'll try tomorrow. Okay, so see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. So it's exactly 6. We are exactly closing the crite right now. See you tomorrow. Give your attendance and feedback to this class. Don't miss it. See you tomorrow 4 p.m. with the important class Nyquist plot number 1. Okay, I have 3 classes of Nyquist, and actually 3. Actually, I have 4th class, but the 4th class has been named as gain and phase margin if you are following the study plan. 3 class on Nyquist and 4th class on the gain and phase margin. That is a continuation. I will explain gain and phase margin through some Nyquist plots. Concept of that. Okay. So basically 4 classes you can say on Nyquist plot we are going to take. See you tomorrow 4 p.m. Bye bye. Take care.